Nathan, what up, brother? How you feeling, man? Oh my God, Adam James. No, what's wrong with the hat? I picked this style up in prison, bruh. You know that. Second Chin, good morning. Let's see who gets on here today on this fine Thursday. We'll start it off. I know you know, Adam. We'll start off fresh for anybody that's new on here. Now that I moved over to YouTube for a little while, let me just say that I'm answering these things from personal experiences. You can ask me literally anything. Anything in relation to Blackstone Labs, guys. I am under the strict rules of my supervised release, not allowed to work with my own company, Blackstone Labs. I'm not allowed to work with any dietary supplement company. So I'm answering questions on personal experience. However, my plan is to go back to Blackstone Labs in 3 years whenever this is done. And that is that. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Nathan says his legs and shoulders are torched. Good. I know you're working hard, my friend. Mike Cole, good morning. Bonsai Runner, good morning, good morning. Thug Life, baby. Oh, man, I love hack squats. Did hack squats for the first time, period, or just for the first time in a while? If I were to pick one exercise that I think is king for the quads, it's the hack squat. The hack squat is what really packed size on my legs as I got more serious with my bodybuilding career. I started out as a power lifter and I used to squat like crazy. Squat, 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 squat. But I didn't have the quad development that I needed. And it wasn't until I switched into doing more hack squats that my quads started to really grow. Obviously there's other things involved, but to me, I think the hack squat is the king of the quad specific training. Mike Coyle asks, is in-home mobile training popular in your area? Well, I think that COVID really changed the landscape of the whole training and gym atmosphere. People started doing more and more at home. But what I think now, and this is just my theory, I haven't been to a bunch of gyms, guys, since I've been home because I'm fortunate enough to have my own spot. I think that people got very depressed during COVID. And I think now we're in a state where people are kind of excited to get out and do stuff more. And I think more people are getting back into the gym culture just because of the whole culture and vibe aspect of it. Myself personally, I don't really care for that anymore. I like to be alone. So people like me, I think the in-home training is great. But I have seen a little bit of the mobile training, not a lot. Oh, Bolshoi Kush, this goes out to all my freaks in New York City. Holla if you hear me. What up, Bolshoi Kush? Oh, wow. So the first time on the hack squat. Oh, man, that's good stuff, baby. Good stuff. I love the hack squat. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, I know what you meant, Mike Coyle. I'm saying the same thing. I think that people, you know, around the COVID time got really into doing stuff at home. But I think it's more people want to go into the gym now. They like being around the energy and the atmosphere and all that. Personal training in gyms seems to be doing very well. When I was young, I had a couple clients who I went to their houses and trained that. Of course, I wouldn't turn anybody down back in my training days. But they're typically early morning clients that have enough at their house. I found that to really expand my actual training business, I had to spend more time in different gyms with gyms that would allow me to go in and do my thing. But again, I haven't trained people like that since 2011 or 12-ish, so. Nathan likes to see all those crocs. You like to see all those broccoli heads, right? Tiny Miller says, finally made it to one. I missed these. I kept up with your articles the past couple of years. Hopefully the new lives aren't as toxic. Oh man, thank you, Tanya. I think that the lives have been very good, very positive. I'm glad to see you on here. Decided to switch it over to YouTube. Bullshit Kush says, I bought 2 dumbbells, 40 kilograms each. Train at home. Training all muscles plus pull-ups and dips outside. Save tons of time going to the in-person. That's perfect, my friend. I don't know how you're getting that laptop work in between sets for 3 to 5 minutes, though. God bless you. God bless you. Favorite James Bond villain? Jaws. Dom, good morning. Emilio Gonzalez, good morning. Outbreak, thank you. The broccoli heads whole thing, it's so bizarre to me. Can we talk about that for a minute? I don't think we've really ever talked about that on here, guys. So, one day, I just was observing there's so many of these broccoli-haired kids, right? So I said to Marissa, I said, what has changed? Why are there so many young kids with curly-ass hair like that? When I was a kid in school, there was literally no one at all with hair like that. The only person when I was young, growing up in the 90s, who had hair like that was Justin Timberlake, and he was on TV. No one in real life had hair like that. So she said, it's 2 things, guys. I'm curious of what you think of that. Number 1, she said that back in my day, people kept their hair a lot shorter. Tight fades were more of a thing, short hairstyles were a thing, so you wouldn't have seen the grown out curls. Okay, I think that makes sense. The other thing that she says is that guys are going and getting perms. What? Can you imagine anybody my age, anybody in their 40s and up, can you imagine when you were in school, if one of your buddies went and got a perm, we would have made fun of him for the rest of his entire school career. So I guess that's just a thing now. Young boys going in and getting perms, crazy. I can't, it's hard for me to believe it, guys. It's hard for me to believe it. I'm curious of your thoughts on that. What do you think will be the next new trends in the fitness industry? Well, one that I thought was weird when I got out of prison was the training in the socks thing. The training in the socks thing was strange to me. Because where I grew up, you would not be allowed to train in the socks in the gym. Hey, Mancini, I still haven't seen anything from him, bro. I have messages from Valentino, but not from him. Tanya Miller says, I like YouTube more, can listen and hear also. Listen without staying in the app. But yeah, I stopped coming to the old lives once several chicks I had never spoken to expressed, oh my God. Really? That's a shame. They went at you? People are crazy. I'm sorry that that happened to you. But it seems like anybody, perhaps from before I went to prison, most of the negatives are gone. Sometimes we get a Genova troll in here. That'll always happen, but yeah, it's so, the curly hair thing is so weird. So you're telling me all these young boys are like, Mom, I want to go get a perm. Bolshoi Kush, Don Henley, Boys of Summer, or Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is. 2 good songs. I'm going to go with I Want to Know What Love Is. Arnold Barefoot Style, yes. That was a different vibe out there in California, though. You got guys in here barefoot waiting to just crush a toe. Abs and thighs, Dorian or Jay? I'm going to go with Jay. Because of the quad aspect of it. Dorian, I would say, maybe slightly better abs than Jay. Dorian's quads were not as impressive as Jay's, though. Jay's, that quad stomp that we all know about that Jay had was phenomenal. Chris says, I wish they'd have sent you more north. I'd have loved to peel your ear in prison, hypothetically, if we're catching up. Being I followed you since day one, same age. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. Hey, you know what? A couple of the guys that I got pushed in there with, that's pretty much all we talked about. Well, I think that's a shame, Tanya, but I think they're gone, hopefully, but I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you in here. I appreciate you being in here, Tanya. Welcome. Thanks, Mancini. Ducati, good morning, sir. Do I think RFK getting caught eating McDonald's was part of the humiliation to be in the club now? Maybe. Listen, sometimes you gotta eat McDonald's. If you're in a jam and you're starving, you're on the road. It's been a while since I've had McDonald's. I don't think I've had McDonald's since before prison. Wait, listen, sometimes you're in a jam. Thunderleg from Drunken Master versus Chung Lee. Wow. I'm going Chung Lee on that one. Chung Lee, Chung Lee. Chung Lee was pretty devastating, you know what I mean? Chung Lee was pretty devastating. John Mancini says, absolutely. All right, thank you, Mancini. You know I love you. Tanya Miller says there's some good shit at McDonald's. Bacon ranch salad, Southwest salad are some awesome great macros. There you go. Listen, that's somebody who's paying attention. If they know about the salads at McDonald's, that's somebody who's paying attention out there. I respect that. I didn't even realize McDonald's still had salads. I heard that was the thing, but I figured that all of the unhealthy people that go there aren't interested in purchasing those, so they let them go. But it's good that they got the variety going in there. I'll tell you what I had recently. I was in the mood. So since I've been home, guys, I only had 2 times in the past year, which is pretty pathetic, but I still feel like I've just been eating cleaner with the exception of when I want pizza. So I had BurgerFi when I got home from prison at one point. Loved BurgerFi. And I had a Habit Burger one day. But it had been a while. I was in the mood for a fast food burger. And so we decided to try out Muya. And I'll tell you, it was delicious. That's a good fast food burger. Now, I will also say it's not as fast as I expected it. You sit there and wait a little while. Maybe it's a little faster if you go to the drive-thru. But it's not like the instant McDonald's that you get, that's for sure. Bolshoi Kush said, when you did cold phone calls to supplement stores in the beginning of your business, did you have a plan how many phone calls per day? And did someone teach you? So in the very beginning, no, I had no plan. Probably would have been better if I had asked some more questions. But here's the way I did it, guys. I had a lot of time on my hands in the beginning. I was essentially sitting on a computer all day because I had my online training business was thriving. And I let people back then email me as much as they wanted. See, if I were to redo everything, or if let's say for now, if I had gotten approval and I was allowed to coach, I would make it a specific day where we had all our contact on, right? So I mean, I had people that would just email me all day. So it was always answering emails. And there really wasn't a lot of actual work to be done in the beginning Blackstone Labs days. It was probably about an hour or 2 of work from printing the labels and packaging the stuff, you know what I mean? So what I would do, guys, is I would pick a region. I started in the Northeast because I felt like I would know so many people up there. I would pick a region, I would go on Google, and I would just Google supplement stores in New York, supplement stores in the Bronx, supplement stores in Brooklyn. A list would come up, and I'd just take the phone numbers and I'd just call in stores. And basically what I would say is, hello, this is PJ Braun, president of Blackstone Labs. Have you heard of us? A lot of times they would not even be interested in speaking to me. I couldn't even get into any kind of punchline. But if I was able to keep them on the phone, I'd say I have a product called Super DMZ. I think it's the strongest pro hormone in the world. People love it. And you can only get it directly from me. And basically I would start wheeling and dealing with them after that. You know, it was very difficult in the beginning. No one really wanted to talk to me in the beginning. But once I got in with Natural Body in New York, Natural Body was such an influential store up in New York, so many people shopped there, that it helped get the name out there more. Because what was happening was a lot of people were saying, well, can I get your supplements at Europa? Which was a very big distribution company at the time. And I would say, no, you have to get them from me. And they were like, oh, I only deal with Europa. So to make you guys understand the way things work, Europa had, 500 brands. You'd get a catalog. You'd look through the catalog. You'd see what kind of specials they were having. You'd call your Europa rep. You'd say, hey, I want 10 of these, 4 of these, 10 of these. Give me a case of these, blah, blah, blah. And you get all the different supplement company stuff that you're going to sell in your store, in your gym. And you get it all coming in. Now, here's the deal, though, guys. Europa had to make their money. Everyone's got to make money in this for it to be successful. So I pretty much figured out that Europa was working around like 30 to 35% off wholesale, right? So I would just call people straight up and say, listen, I know you're paying 35%, from Europa. I'll give you my product for 45%. And in some cases, 50%. You know what I mean? So now these people are like, damn. So you're telling me I can sell this pro hormone in my store and make that much money? Yeah. And we all win? Absolutely. And that's how it started in the beginning. This was a time when pro hormones were very popular. People wanted their pro hormones. And the pro hormones were strong. So that's how it went in the beginning. Chuck Zito versus Jimmy Pilecchia at their prime in a street fight. Who you got? Jimmy the Iron Bull was so strong. I don't know. I don't know as much about Chuck Zito's fight game. I know that Jimmy Pilecchia was very, very strong. But maybe he was so strong, maybe he wasn't as mobile. Maybe we'll go Chuck Zito on that one. I don't know. I really hope to see this Greg Valentino versus Mark Wahlberg thing. That would be incredible. Some dude says, do you think you would need more than just Androl plus test to bench 600, assuming you could bench 300 natty? When it comes to big bench presses like that, all of the drugs in the world aren't going to be the deciding factor. The best bench pressers have something unique about them. I've seen it when I was young. This guy, Bill, from my gym, we called him Juice Bill. And yes, he was on gear, of course. But the guy could push 405 all day for reps, and he was not a huge guy. He was not a huge guy. Yeah, he had a big chest, and he did it with a relatively wide grip. He had freakishly strong tendons. That's the thing, guys, because once you start getting into these weights like that, it's such an overload on the tendons. The muscles will keep on getting stronger, but it's usually the tendons that blow out. So, I had a guy that did a 535 raw bench, drug-free, big guy, Darren Kane was his name, legit drug-free, 275 weight class, did a 535 raw bench, drug-free. So you take that guy, right, and you put him on some test and Anadrol, oh yeah, he's gonna probably press 700. So, me, I could do, in competition, I did 330, raw, no shirt, drug-free at 19 years old. Nothing great. Nothing great. But juiced out of my brains, I never went more than 455. I didn't feel like my shoulders could handle it. Once I got to 405, that felt very, very heavy. And that 455 felt just not safe on the shoulders. So personally, I've always been more injury prone. My wow. Oh, you look beautiful. Okay, have a good morning. Jack, what are you looking at? He likes to watch me. Anyway, I love you too, babe. In-N-Out is very good. I don't think it's the best. When I was in California, if I wanted a burger, I actually liked Carl's Jr. way more than In-N-Out. But In-N-Out is very good. Nathan I, why do you think some stores turn away selling pro hormones? Are they trying to play it safe? I don't know. I guess they just don't like making money because that's where all the money is. You got stores that are selling SARMs, you know what I mean? So, you know, I can tell you this, I'm not there anymore, guys. I'm not there. When I was at Blackstone, the two best-selling products at Blackstone were Methaquad and Chosen One. People want those products all day long. Wholesale, they sold them like crazy. Then was Dust X. So, you know, to me, you're missing out on a lot of money by not selling pro hormones. And the DHEA-based pro hormones are safe. Sure, they're going to suppress your testosterone levels, but most people know what they're getting into at that point. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it, Mancini, but I'd love to see Valentino versus Wahlberg. Wasn't Daniel Cannon original outlaw? Hell yes. So ahead of his time too, Badabuco. Imagine you are starving till death on a desert island, and you have a choice to pick any food you want to survive. But before you need to make love to the food, what would you pick? I have to make love to it while it is alive? So what you're saying is, let me make sure I'm following this. If I want it to be steak, do I have to make love to the cow first? Or if I was a vegan, for instance, and I just wanted a broccoli, how would that work out? Oh, Mancini, thank you for asking. Marissa and the baby are doing great. As of today, the baby is the size of a carrot, 11 inches long. It was a papaya last week. I don't understand why they get these vegetables from on the app, but we're still following along anyway. Mark Dog says, good morning, PJ. What is the best gym in the Boca area? I met you at Busybody West several years ago, and it was good. I saw a gym in Pompano named All-Star Gym that looked good. That gym is good in Pompano, actually, some dude. I haven't been to Busybody West in a long time. I heard they redid it, and it's even better. I heard the Redcon Gym is good. I have not been in there, obviously, in Boca. But I'll tell you, All-Star is a good one. Yeah, great gym. Some dude says, would you say Anadrol is the king of orals for strength? Because the Soviet lifters in the 80s were some of the strongest people ever. Yes, Anadrol will make you crazy strong. For some reason, Anadrol bothered my stomach. I couldn't really handle too much of it. It made me crazy strong though, guys. D-ball, I could take a higher dose and get really good results with it. Now, I'll tell you now, at this stage in life, the only oral that I would use is oxandrolone. But yeah, Anadrol, all my powerlifting buddies, all my strength buddies were using Anadrol. Some of them were using 3, 4, 5 a day, which is crazy. I have to make love to the cooked steak? Oh, I'll make love to a cooked steak. Cut a hole in it, bullshit. I love my steak. You think Trump put RFK for lead top U.S. health institution to piss off Arnold? Since Arnold can imagine... I don't think so. I think it was a strong power move on Trump's part to align with RFK anyway, because there's a lot of people that respect RFK. Not enough for him to be a factor in a presidential race, but aligning with him was a very strong power move on getting support on his side. And it's just a smart thing to do overall for the country. That seriously must be it. I went to a store to get their take on carrying BSL products, and they were like, yeah, not at the moment. They had some bootleg ass Ostarine behind the counter. Yeah, see, in the Ostarine is illegal to sell. So they're taking a chance making money there, but they're missing out. They could be killing it with the Blackstone, but perhaps that store, maybe there just doesn't as a demand for it over there. The brand has lost a lot of its demand since I've been gone, from what I've noticed and seen. I look forward to being able to get back in a few years and turn it all around again. For now, I gotta just do my own thing. Thoughts on Biden with Russia? Well, listen, overall, I think Biden did a lot of questionable things during the presidency. I don't know how much of a factor he really was, or how many people behind him were, puppeteering this thing. Did you know that director asked Arnold to make Commando Part 2, but Arnold declined the offer since Conan Destroyer failed? So the same director made Commando, but with Bruce Willis, and called it Die Hard. Wow, I had no idea. That is tremendous trivia right there, Bolshoi Kush. Thank you for dropping that on us. So you're telling me that the Die Hard movies could have been basically Commando sequels. That is incredible. Badabuka says, why does Guy Cisternino have such short fuse? He is wound tighter than a Swiss watch. He's always been that way. So there's a number of ways to looking at it. If you are a follower of the Zodiac, he's an Aries. They're typically the most fiery. And it's funny when I read stuff like that. My mom is an Aries and she's crazy. So you got that aspect of it. Or if you want to look up on your upbringing, he comes from an Italian family, which often you find high-strung people come from those families. I know that because I come from an Italian family. I've seen it with my own two eyes. And then there could be some that just genetically in there. Outside of that, he is very, very, very wound tight though. When he was having his issues with his heart palpitations and whatnot, and thinking he was having a heart attack, I told him, bro, you gotta chill out. You're very, very stressed. He was like, no, I'm not. I said, you are. You're just wound tight. You got to calm down. It's funny, too, because he partakes in quite a bit of cannabis. But I guess it's not enough to chill him out. What would be your restaurant recommendations in the Boca area? So if you're looking for a quick, healthy meal, Fresh Kitchen is where it's at. I love Fresh Kitchen. If I didn't care about money, I would eat at Fresh Kitchen every single day, because for like 20 to 25 bucks, you can get a monster, good, clean, healthy meal. If you want a really good steak, Abe and Louie's is the best. You could do a nice filet at lunch at Abe and Louie's. It's a nice steakhouse, but you don't gotta be too fancy going in there. Abe and Louie's is outstanding. If you're looking for some Italian, and you want like a little quiet spot, this is actually where I went with Kristen and Chris Graham, Talia's Tuscan Table. Man, they got the best risotto, amazing, sizes to their plates, chicken parmesan, stuff like that. Very, very good. Man, if you want a huge burger, Tucker Duke's. If you want a fucking, excuse my language, very, very good pizza experience, go to Mr. 01 in Boca. They're kind of like personal size pizza. Get the star crust pizza. It's got ricotta in the crust. Woo! Those are like the go-tos, if you ask me. The one good thing about Boca, there's a lot of good places to eat in Boca. Mancini, you're an Aries too? Are you wound tight, Mancini? Wow, how about that, Bolshoi Kuss? What a difference as far as physiques from Arnold to Bruce Willis. Tiny Miller says, he's Northeastern, LOL. Everyone thinks we're fire, have short fuses. That's partly true, but I am also from the Northeast, and he's way crazier than I am. He's just very, very intense. Bolshoi Kush, he does have a girlfriend. How do you think top powerlifters went from benching 625 in the 70s to 725 in the 2000s? I don't think it's because they're heavier, because there were 300-pound lifters back then. Combination of things. One, more knowledge of drugs. Two, more knowledge of training. Three, more knowledge of supplementation and eating. It's evolution there. You know, I'll give you an example, right? The deadlift, as far as the way you see the numbers go up, squat, bench, deadlift, and those three big lifts, the deadlift is the most elusive of seeing guys really, really going up in strength. Because no matter how you swing it, a conventional deadlift is a conventional deadlift. There's not a whole lot that you can really do with it. And it's something that it's a slower, less explosive move, and there's a lot of total body strength that goes into improving it there. There's a lot more mechanics involved in executing a perfect fucking bench press. So guys have really, over the years, you've seen the evolution of the way guys hold the bar, train for speed, train for explosion, train to control negatives, lockouts, things like that. I think that it's evolved so much, the training aspect of it. I think that also, though, like you said, I think that what guys do with steroids has come a long way since back then also. "20% baked at all times." So 80% no bake, 20% baked. That's funny. Bolshoi Kush, I think Guy has very healthy blood pressure. Ivan Drago versus Tong Po MMA match. Ivan Drago, he had the juice. Tong Po was natty, I think. You can't compete. Any more info on Lenny's passing? I haven't heard anything else about it. RIP to Lenny. Pierce Morgan or Hannity? Pierce Morgan. It's very good, that pizza place. Sky Sustino can get into a fist fight in an empty room. Yeah, he's probably getting mad right now. And he doesn't even know that we're talking about him. Shout out to Guy, I love him. Let's see, Denzel also declined offer to play in 7 Brad Pitt's role. That was a great, great movie. Whatever happened with the whole Denzel kissing scene that we were talking about the other day? Denzel also declined. Okay, saw that. Top 3 things you can't say in front of a black person not to piss them off. The N-word is by far number 1. You don't want to say that one. I think there's a big drop-off after that. You people isn't appreciated either. I saw that go down in prison. Adam Accessory says, do you think of new formulations for potential supplements when you're allowed back in the industry? To be completely honest with you, I've had to, in some ways, take myself all the way out of it. Adam, there's a couple things that I've looked into outside of the industry, like in the peptide space, that I'm interested in. But for now, I've had to take myself more out of it because it honestly makes me depressed. And it's just not good for my mental space right now. I gotta keep it as positive as possible. Perhaps as I start getting closer, I'll look into it more, but I'm not even allowed to be talking to the Blackstone team about this stuff. So if I had a great idea and I decided to reach out to those guys and talk about it, it'd be potentially putting me back in prison, which scares me. So it's crazy that that's what I got to deal with, but I have a lot of PTSD over this whole experience. I do not want to go back to prison. It's a terrible place to be. Mancini, do the Aries members in your family have short fuses? Let's see, Bolshoi Kush. Director Ridley Scott declined to cut this part, but old school black people are pissed. I need to know more about it. So Denzel did in fact kiss the guy? Listen guys, I gotta be honest with you. I think that I can be a very good actor in certain situations. It's something I've always enjoyed and had a passion about. But I wouldn't be a good enough actor to sell a kissing scene with another man. Couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. It just grosses me out too much. Call me what you want. Call me homophobic, whatever. It just grosses me out too much. I think of like some of the guys that I love, and anything past the cheek, I can't do it. I can't do it. There's not enough money. I don't think I'd be able to get that role. I don't think I'd be able to get that role. I'm just keeping it real with you. However, on the flip side, you could put the ugliest girl in the world in front of me, and if it's for a movie, give me a little bit of cash, I'll tongue her down, guys. I'll tongue her down. Zits all over her face, whatever, bad breath, but can't do the guy. What else we got here? Brokeback Mountain or Philadelphia? Philadelphia. Brokeback Mountain, I have a hard time with. Can I combine Brutal Force with Super Stroll 7? Yes. In my opinion, Brutal Force is outstanding to stack with everything, guys. People that want to take just Abnormal, or just Chosen One, or just Super Stroll, I really think that you miss out on the overall strength gains and really size that you can put on by adding the Brutal Force in, because when that 4-andro breaks down, you get a very test-like effect from it that you won't get without it. Tanya Miller, no? You won't do it? Okay. What about for $1 million in a movie? Speaking of kissing another man, Bob Harris is still the best classic physique. You would take Bob Harris over Bumstead? Man, Bumstead, people love Bumstead. Hello, hello, anybody coming in? Transformix Red. It's you, what up, man? I'm enjoying these AI things that I've been seeing between you and Chris Bra, by the way. Really impressive, actually. Uh-oh, Mancini, there's a Mancini temper? That's scary. Lamprecht Buffa. Lamprecht Bava. Am I getting it? Will stuff like RAD or MK477 mess with your hormones if you're truly natty? It is safe as to... So it can, some dude. So MK is most likely not going to affect your testosterone or estrogen at all. If you are extremely sensitive, and it may not actually be the proper MK, but I think there, you're mostly going to see a response through IGF-1 insulin. RAD 140 shouldn't, but again, it could. A low dose most likely be okay. But when it comes to safety, it's a misconception that SARMs are safer than steroids, because the godfather of all steroids, testosterone, done the right way, is the safest thing that you can do. PG Ron posing at 212, posing right now on IG. Uh-oh. What do we got going on? You'll take Paris over Bum? I don't know. I got to go and take a look at Bob Harris's physique. I haven't looked at him in a while. He did have a beautiful physique. You know, I don't really think Bumstead has a pretty physique, but he has a cool physique. It's impressive. But it wasn't pretty, no. I will say there were some guys that had more aesthetically prettier physiques. Barry DeMay had a very pretty physique. Serge Nubret had a very pretty physique. I don't even think Franz Zane had a pretty physique. It was cool. But on Bumstead's side, It's not that it's it's just a cool looking, um, different, really, physique. Small waist, pretty broad clavicles, very, very wide lats from the front, which is nice to see. He's taller. Tanya Miller says, oh no, absolutely for money, no problem. I've kissed plenty of girls in years in high school. I gotcha. Yeah, so the money, it comes down to the money. See, listen, I don't know, $1 million would I kiss a guy? Ugh. Whew. I don't know. Thoughts on the death of Big Lenny? Gone too soon or lived longer than I thought? I would think that it's a combination of both. I think most people, the first time they see Big Lenny, they're like, wow, I know I was. What's going on with his stomach, right? That's always been the big question for years. So you assume that is associated with poor health. But years and years and years he went by looking like that. So perhaps he really did outlive his life expectancy. On the same side, he's still a young man. Was not old, guys. So it definitely gone too soon. Oh, Lamprecht, I gotcha. Lamprechty. What's funny is that it's not even AI. They were made before all these AI generational stuff. So what is it if it's not AI then, Transformix Red? Enlighten me. What is Marissa's zodiac sign? She is a Pisces. Bolshoi Kush, how'd you know that? Do I think that Mike Mentzer should have won the years Frank Zane won in the 70s? I prefer Mike Mentzer's physique, yes. More powerful looking, densely muscled. Thanks, Bolshoi Kush. I think Sammy has a great physique and looked great with you. Thank you very much. He did have a hell of a physique, young Sammy. He's still in very good shape. Very balanced, small weight, very pleasing physique. You know, he did a lot with his frame, that's for sure. Yeah, Daniel J., I always thought that it was some sort of tumor or something too. People were like, oh, it's from GH, blah, blah. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Not how it works. Do I miss anything about Connecticut and do I ever go back? So I haven't been back to Connecticut in years. Do I miss anything? I missed Minas Carne. I used to love eating at Minas Carne. I used to go there almost every day to eat lunch. Love Minas Carne. I've never found anything like Minas Carne down here, so I miss that. I do not miss the weather. Most of my family is down here now. I do miss my buddy Will and my buddy Jake Castaldi that are up there. Love those guys. Miss Evan. I used to love going to the Montanari Bros gym. That's probably like the best gym in the world. Literally, I really enjoyed training there when I would drive out there. Yes, I miss the New Haven pizza. However, none of it so much that I would want to go back there. I love it down here. I love summertime, guys, so it's always summertime here. What do I think is going on with Britney Spears? Very good question. I don't know if she's trolling us all or if she really did just lose her mind, because the amount of stuff that she does in that same spot, you think she's got to be trolling us, right? Why is this going on? But maybe she really did lose her mind, guys. It doesn't seem like she really does anything else besides that. How do you think Mentzer looked so dense and hard back then? No one else looked close to that. Well, I think it was a combination of the way he trained, genetics, and things that he was taking. Just a different recipe, you know? There was obviously a genetic component to it, though, because his brother Ray had a very similar build and look. Who do you miss the most from bodybuilding industry that you don't communicate with right now? Good question. You know, I've been communicating with pretty much the same people for years, but I would say I miss the old friendship that I had with Aaron Singerman before everything got all messed up, because we were really the best of friends in the world, and I miss that relationship. Who can cook the best? Guy, Sister Nino, Evan Centopani, or you? Well, Guy is the butcher, right? He's the butcher. He makes very good pickles, apparently. Evan will grow it all in his garden. He'll get you that, barefoot Contessa meal. But I'm the grill master. You get me on a grill and I'm lethal. We actually all have, I think, very different styles in the way that we do things. Best place to get gelato in Florida? Good question. I haven't had gelato in a minute. PJ, are you affiliated with any clothing line right now? No. Pretty much all my clothes are the Blackstone clothes that I've had over the years. That's it. Did you know that when Mike's brother Ray was sick, later in years, Arnold called to Ray and asked if he needs any help despite the beat? No, I didn't know that. That's kind of him. I heard the Cutler podcast, actually, Son of Sammy. I thought it was a very, very good interview. Actually, I thought it was probably the best interview he's ever done. Do I ever talk to people that I grew up with in Connecticut? So the only person I still really talk to from my youth, his name is Jay Castaldi. We don't talk as much as we used to, but we do randomly catch up about how crazy we were back then and whatnot. Thoughts on Kratom and your experience using it? I actually have Kratom every day. I brew my own tea. It's very easy to get carried away with Kratom. I advise people to stay away from the extracts. I got way too crazy with the extracts. The extracts are literally like being on Percocet. I don't care what anybody says. The extracts are no joke. I wish that I never got into them. I was doing great back with the teas, and people told me to stay away from the extracts. I should have learned. I just wanted to see what was the whole big deal. I had an OPMS, and I was like, whoa, I never felt anything like that before. The thing with the extracts is you build a tolerance to them very fast. So before I went to prison, guys, I was banging down like 6 to 8 extracts a day. Terrible habit. Had to go cold turkey in that detox in county jail. That was not fun. So now that I'm home, I just stick to brewing my own tea. I could take it or leave it, guys. Like if I don't have my tea, I'm fine. I have it, I enjoy it. It gives me a nice little stimulation. Makes my joints feel a little better. But if I don't have my tea, I'm not sick or anything like that. That's how I want it to be. Oh man, Flowers. Oh my God. I wonder how Flowers is doing these days. And Timbo, I haven't heard from in years. Aaron may still talk to Timbo, maybe. Sean Ray, yes, he can be very arrogant, but he's certainly an interesting guy. One of the best bodybuilders of all time, that's for sure. Do I have any hemorrhoid problems? Thankfully, no. Can you recommend an HRT clinic in the Boca area? Yes, Core Medical. Tell them PJ sent you. I'm friends with those guys. That's Mel Chancey's place. There's one right in Boca. I'm friends with Mike that's in there. Those guys will take care of you if you want a place right in Boca. Say, hey, PJ sent me over here. Some dude says, good, Red Kratom was easy to find before COVID, very tough these days. So I couldn't tell you anything about his websites because I'm friends with a wholesaler. And, he's looked out for me forever. So I really couldn't tell you. I do get, there's a couple of products I enjoy from Urban Ice Botanicals. If I were going to trust any website, it would be Urban Ice Botanicals. Those guys are very, very knowledgeable. And I would reach out to them. Oh man, Flowers. Am I deep frying a turkey? No. I'm going to go to my sister's next week, actually. But anyway, I'm going to roll up out of here, guys. I actually have to poop again, which is good. Always fun to get your poops in the morning. Front lat spread. Dorian versus Ronnie. The front lat spread goes to Dorian. The back lat spread goes to Ronnie. Most muscular, Dennis Wolf or Marcus Rule? Oof. Marcus Rule, man. Marcus Rule was on another level. Oh, okay, Transformer X. I'm feeling. I'm gonna go check it out. I get it. Listen, I appreciate you guys all being on here today. I'll be back tomorrow, of course. Thank you, some dude. I'm getting leaner. I'm getting leaner and getting there, slow and steady. I appreciate you guys all very much. I love you all. God bless you all.